What does it take to succeed in Nova Scotia's Entrepreneur Immigration program? What is the scoring system like? How many points will you score? What were the past scores and how many people were invited to apply in the past? We'll look at all of these things in today's video. Hi, my name is Rashid Ali. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant from Canada, and through this channel I share videos on Canadian immigration based on my knowledge, experience and research, so you don't have to spend a lot of time getting information from inauthentic sources. Regulated Canadian immigration consultants such as myself are the only immigration consultants from Canada who can legally give you immigration and citizenship advice for a fee. So welcome to my channel. This video is episode 8 of my business immigration series, and this is part 2 of Nova Scotia's Entrepreneur Immigration. In part 1, we discussed the high-level requirements of the program, the different steps involved and the timelines, whereas in this video we will focus on the point system. So subscribe to the channel to stay tuned for more videos. At the end of this video, I will share a calculator with you that you can use to evaluate your score. For now, it is a Google Sheets based document that you can download and fill it out in your computer or your phone. So let's look at the scoring criteria. There are 8 main factors. The first factor is around language. Even though the language threshold is very low, it's only CLB 5, but you do need to score at least CLB 5 to be eligible for this program. You can take IELTS, CELPIP or one of the 2 French language tests, and the maximum you can score is 28 points. If you score CLB 7, you get 28 points. If you score CLB 5, you get 24 points, and if you get the minimum score, you get 20 points. And CLB 5 again means 4 in reading and 5 in writing, listening and speaking in IELTS. If you also know French at a basic level, or if French was your main language and you also know English at least CLB 5, you can claim 7 additional points. Factor number 2 is education. You do need an educational credential assessment report from Canada to claim education points. The maximum you can score here is 25 points. Here's the breakdown. If you have a PhD, you get 25 points. With a master's degree, you get 23. With 2 or more degrees, 22. With a post-secondary diploma of 3 years or more, you get 21 points. You have a post-secondary degree or diploma of 2 years, you get 19 points. With 1 year post-secondary diploma, you get 12 points. And if you just have high school and diploma, you get 8 points. Now let's talk about the third factor, which is your experience. If you have business ownership or management experience, you can claim a maximum of 35 points. If within the last 10 years you have more than 5 years of business ownership experience, you get 35 points. If you have 3 to 5 years of business ownership experience, you get 20 points. And when I say business ownership, you must have at least 33.33% ownership in your business, at least 1/3. And if you have 5 years or more of management experience, senior managerial experience, you get 20 points. So yes, senior managers will get less points compared to business owners. The fourth factor is net worth, and you can get a maximum of 10 points for your net worth. So even though the minimum net worth is 600,000, if you have a net worth of greater than 1.5 million Canadian dollars, you get 10 points, which is the max. If you have a net worth of anywhere between 1 to 1.5 million, you get 7 points. If your net worth is anywhere from $600,000 to almost $1 million, you get the minimum points, which is 5. The fifth factor is age. So while for express entry, the ideal age is less than 30 in the CRS, here the ideal age is 33 to 39 points. If you have less than that, you lose some points, and if you're more than 39 years old, you lose some points. So here is the points breakdown based on your age. If you're 21 to 24, you get 5 points. If you're 25 to 32, you get 7 points. If you're 33 to 39, you get 10 points, which is the maximum. If you're 40 to 44 years old, you get 7 points. If you're 45 to 55, you get 5 points. And if you're 56 or above, you don't get any points for your age. Now that doesn't mean that if you get 0 points for age, you will be disqualified. There is no maximum age limit for this program. The sixth factor is around adaptability. Adaptability means the factors that will determine if you can settle down in the province of Nova Scotia based on some of your factors, based on some of your spouse's factor, if you're married or if you have a common law partner. So if you've studied in Nova Scotia for at least 2 years, or if you've worked in Nova Scotia for at least 1 year, you can claim 10 points for adaptability, which is the maximum. And if your spouse or common law partner have studied in Nova Scotia for at least 2 years, or if they've worked here for 1 year, you get 5 points. Finally, if you have relatives in Nova Scotia, you can also claim points for those relatives. The relatives include you or your spouse's parents, grandparents, siblings, uncle or aunt, nephew or niece, living in Nova Scotia for at least 1 year. They must be Canadian citizens or permanent residents, and they must be 19 years old or older. Now, the seventh factor is around the alignment of your business with Nova Scotia's economic priorities. For example, if your business is export oriented, you get 5 points. If your proposed business location is outside of Halifax, you get 5 points. For business succession, you get 5 points. Business succession is when you buy a business which has been in operation by the same owner for at least 5 years. You must do an exploratory visit when you're buying a business from an existing owner. You can claim a maximum of 5 points, and through this factor overall for economic priorities, you can claim 10 points. The last factor is investment. If you make the bare minimum investment of $150 to about $300,000, you can claim 10 points. And if you invest more than $300,000, you can claim 15 points, which is the maximum points that you will get from investment. So on the net worth side, if your net worth is more than $1.5 million, you get maximum points. And from the investment perspective, if you can invest more than $300,000, you get the maximum of 15 points. Now, a key question that people often ask is, what can I include in my investment? So $150,000 might not be a lot of money for a lot of business owners. So what can you include in this investment? So here are some guidelines for you. You can include land, you can include buildings, you can include the franchising fee, you can include the cost of equipment, you can include inventory, you can include your professional licensing fee, you can include furniture, you can include leasehold improvements, marketing costs, startup costs like business research can be included. You can also include the cost of licenses and permits, and you can include the cost of one vehicle if it's required as per CRA's guideline, Canada Revenue Agency's guidelines. So most of these were fixed expenses. What about operating expenses? Your wages, salaries, utilities, rent, can you include those or not? You can, up to a certain extent. If you're establishing a new business, you can include up to 6 months of operating costs. And if you're buying an existing business, you can include up to 3 months of operating costs. Now, these investment guidelines are not general guidelines for all programs. Different provinces have their own guidelines. So these guidelines are just for the province of Nova Scotia. Now, since home-based businesses are not included in this entrepreneur immigration program for Nova Scotia, you can't include that cost. Similarly, another very common question is, when do I need to invest this money? Does it have to be on day one? No, it doesn't have to be on day one. As per Nova Scotia's guidelines, you can invest this money in the first 2 years of operating your business. Now, be very careful. Don't go ahead and buy your business or invest this money until you're nominated by Nova Scotia, because all of those costs before nomination will not be considered eligible investments. So make sure you can come for an exploratory visit, no harm in that, but don't buy the business until you're actually nominated by the province. One caveat to operating expenses is, if you're buying a franchise or you're starting a franchise, you can't include operating expenses for those. So since we're talking about success in this video, once you submit your application, once you have all of the documents in place, you submit that to the province, how long can it take before you know? The application review can typically take 4 months on average. It could be more than that, it could take less time, but on average 4 months is a reasonable expectation. Okay, now that you have an idea of score, you might be somewhat confused. You might be calculating your own score. I'll make it easy for you. In the description, I'll link a calculator. It's a simple Excel or Google Sheets based calculator that you can download, choose different factors, calculate your own score, and I'll show you the past scores right now so you can compare your score versus the history and see if you stand a chance. Last year, the candidate with the lowest score who was invited to apply, who received an ITA, had a score of 110 points. Overall, the lowest score ever in this program has been 91 points. Since 2016, over almost 36 rounds of invitations have taken place and 900 people have been invited to submit their application to the province. In 2019, 218 people were given ITAs to submit a detailed application, and the average number of applicants per ITA were 31. So if you score more than 110, you have a decent chance. Now, to calculate your score, go ahead, download that calculator. Also, while you're at it, you can also download an information sheet about Nova Scotia, where you will find information about the demographics, about the key highlights of the province, about the different types of businesses in the province. And you can also choose to opt in to my mailing list, where I will share key information about different business immigration programs. You will also get a notification when I upload a video. This will help us stay connected in your Canadian immigration journey. Whether or not we work together, whether or not you choose to hire me for your immigration process, or whether you do it on your own or with someone else, I would still love to stay connected with you. So Join the mailing list. If you found this video to be useful, give me a thumbs up. Let me know what you think in the comments and subscribe to the channel for more videos. There are a lot more videos coming your way. Turn on the notifications by clicking on the bell icon because there's so much noise on YouTube. If you want to receive a notification when I upload a video, just turn on the notifications. There are other videos like Owner Operator LMIA, Intra-Company Transfer, Ontario's Entrepreneur Immigration Program. There's a whole playlist and I will link that playlist in the description so you can check those videos out. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.